My Lords, I thank the Noble Lord the Minister and all of the Noble Lords who've taken part in this extremely rich, I think, debate, both those who've brought their scientific expertise into the chamber and those who've concentrated hard while they listened to that scientific expertise. I doubt your Lordship's House has seen a debate with more concentration of scientific evidence, but I would posit that we need many more debates that do contain this level of science in the future. I'm aware of all the people waiting for the next debate, but I think there's a couple of points that are really worth drawing out. And the key question that has arisen is there enough regulation now? And I think it's really useful to triangulate here three of the contributions from Noble Lords. Now, the Noble Baroness Annalay, with also Baroness Sugg and the Earl of Effingham, all raised concern about more regulation. And I think the Noble Lord, I'm very, very glad that the Noble and Learned Lord Thomas of Cumgeed was here, because I think what that contribution indicated was that actually this potentially marks a shift from the government drawing up lots of detailed rules which will always be behind, to putting responsibilities on manufacturers to say, don't mess things up, which surely should be where the responsibility lies, and takes away a lot of the complexities that the Noble Baroness Annalay was referring to. But I would think it's very useful to triangulate into this the Noble Lady Baroness Freeman's speech, because I think it demonstrated very clearly now that the regulators are not in any way keeping up with where we are. And I would look at some of the words from the Noble Lord the Minister. The Noble Lord suggested there might be duplication, that what we have now is well regulated and understood. And I think the Noble Lady Baroness Freeman's speech demonstrates very clearly that it is not the case. And we don't have regulations that are fit for purpose. And that also reflects on the Noble Earl Effingham's speech. So I think triangulating those speeches is very useful. Just to very briefly pick up some specific points. I would particularly thank the Noble Lady Baroness Finlay for raising the actual toxicity to human bodies concerns that are not adequately covered. I haven't gone into that because that is the area that's supposed to be already regulated, although it clearly isn't, as the Noble Lady indicated. The Noble Lord Viscount Stansgate will be perhaps pleased to know that I will be hosting 2 events in the next 2 months on bacteriophages with academics from the University of Exeter seeking to increase and bacteriophages as an alternative to antibiotic use are certainly part of the story of how we're going to tackle the problem of AMR, but they're unlikely to be a total solution, is what I would posit. I want to pick up the Noble Lady Baroness Sugg, Brinton and others particularly raised the issue of period products, and the Noble Lady Baroness Sugg pointed out the detail of how silver damages the lactobacillus, the healthy bacteria, and that's something that I do plan, and I hope the Noble Lords here today will join me in the product regulation bill, because as the Noble Lady Baroness Sugg said, people cannot know what they're buying now, and that cannot be right, and that is something we should be able to tackle right now through the product regulation and metrology bill. I do just want to pick up the points from the Noble Earl of Effingham about whether the level 5 unlimited fine is indeed the right level for this. I think the Noble Lord, Lord Brown, said that once we let the AMR genie out of the bottle, we cannot put it back. If a manufacturer is responsible for letting loose a resistance gene that essentially lets forth an AMR pandemic, then I would posit that a level 5 unlimited fine, which of course the court will consider with relevance to the size of the company concerned, for a giant multinational company, that is the appropriate level. So I'm aware of time, so I'm going to finish with just some final thoughts. I really welcome the fact that the Noble Lord Leong said that he was not dismissing the concerns that I brought forward today. I very much welcome the offers of further interaction following up on the Noble Lady Baroness Brinton's suggestion of a round table, and I look forward to further discussion in the product regulation and metrology bill. And finally, I'm really glad that the Noble Lord the Minister is going to go home and check his cupboards. And I would perhaps suggest that that provides evidence that future action